Hi friends, welcome back to Kicking It with the Texas Chancla. I'm attorney Jesse Hernandez of the Texas Chancla, and today I am kicking it with my new friend, Antoinette.
Hello.
How are you doing, Antoinette?
I'm doing a lot better now. This is a beautiful studio. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you. I made it all myself, no help at all. For those of the folks at home who may not know who you are, introduce yourself.
So my name is Antoinette, and I do social media marketing. I do basically all digital creations, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff.
No MySpace, though?
Not anymore.
Okay.
I got kicked off.
Okay. It's okay. You're still big enough to have on the show, even if you don't have MySpace.
Thank you.
So one of the ways that you came to my attention is, I don't know if I was watching a TikTok or an Instagram, but you were doing this thing where you were reading from Craigslist. Some of the, I forget what it's called, if it's like missed opportunities
or missed connections.
Missed connections. Will you share what that is and what the bit you do is?
So I get on Craigslist, and there's so many different like forums on Craigslist, and there's one that says missed connections. And when you read it, it's basically somebody writing about essentially a misconnection. Like, they were like, I saw you at HEB, we briefly spoke, let me know if this is you, what color shirt was I wearing? And it's crazy because I feel like everybody wants, like, when you're grocery shopping for some reason, like I feel like I've been hit on so many times at HEB, and I'm like, I'm just trying to get groceries. Like, I don't know what it is about the grocery store that everyone thinks, like, this is where I'm going to meet my soulmate.
This is it.
Because out of most of the misconnections I read, they all have to do with an HEB.
I, too, like seedless grapes, and I see that you have some in your basket. We are meant to be together. Is that
right? It's like we were both reaching for that same apple at the same time.
And it's not so much that, like, they're funny, because a lot of you pick some really good ones, but like just the way you read them, like, you're like so serious. It's absolutely hilarious to me. I absolutely love it.
Thank you.
Is that one of your most popular like things to do on social media? Or
so the Craigslist did take off. A lot of people found it entertaining, and I noticed that after I started reading them, they started getting more traction, that I started to find more misconnections. And I was like, wait a minute, is it because they're getting more publicly exposed? But that, and then I also like to do TikToks about places to visit in San Antonio.
Okay.
But actual places to visit, because I did do a video about places to visit, but it was places you shouldn't visit.
I heard that you did one, and it just absolutely took off. Tell the folks at home about that one.
Okay, so I did a top 5 of places to visit when you come to San Antonio. And I started off strong with, the family-friendly spot, Deal Sports Bar.
Of course.
That has, like, you're out 11 o'clock at night with the kids. You need something cheap. 99-cent wells for 1 hour. It's power hour.
I love that.
So there's that. I said South Park Mall for all high-end shopping. It has all the best stores. And there's a Chili's that's actually open in South Park Mall.
And they have an Ojos Locos now.
Oh,
so
my
that's
gosh.
Definitely
You're getting wined and dined and
Exactly. Question mark,
whatever happens
question
after
mark.
Ojos. And then I listed the Heritage Duck Pond. Really beautiful, nice scenery. The kids could pet the ducks. No telling if they'll bite, but bite
Rumor
back.
has it that there's a duck with one eye there. I'm not going to say who I heard that from, but there might be a duck with one eye.
It might still be there, lingering around. And then I listed, of course, everyone's favorite, Fed's Fish Fry.
That's where I get my money embezzled. I mean, that's where I get my fish at. That's absolutely... Just kidding. I love their square fish. It's amazing.
I've never had Fred's Fish Fry.
But you put it on the list of the top 5 places.
I love going there. Not for the fish.
So half the people who responded to this video got that it was kind of made tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
And the other half apparently did not?
No, they were very upset. They were like, if you come to San Antonio, do not listen to this woman. A lot of people call me West Side Trash.
Oh?
Yeah, all the nice things that I like to wake up to. And I'm like, okay.
But are you West Side Trash or?
I live by SeaWorld, so is that the West Side?
That's like far West Side.
Oh, now I'm far West Side trash.
Like get it right. If you're gonna throw a name out there, like make sure you get where I'm from.
It's accurate.
Right? Like, okay. And so that went nuts? Like,
yeah, that went viral. It happened, so I recorded it, and I was like, oh, this is funny. And I put it on Twitter. I tweeted it. And obviously I put it on my TikTok too. So then I woke up the next morning, and I had like all these crazy notifications. But on Twitter is a different world than like Facebook. So everyone on Twitter knew it was a joke. They were like, this girl's crazy. So Twitter like helped, really push it out. And then on Facebook, that's when I saw my essay wrote an article about me. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, that's my name. And then Y100 reached out to me. They're like, hey, can we share this? And I was like, sure. And I didn't know anything about like monetizing on content yet. So I was like, yeah. And that video is their most popular video to date.
Really? It still is?
Yeah. On Facebook, it's still their most popular video.
Oh, nice.
And then they were talking about me on Mix. They were like, this girl listed her 5 places to visit in Santa. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Did you have any idea that it was going to do that?
No, I did think it was going to be funny. And I was like hoping for like at least 1,000 views. And then it just went poof,
And what was like the view count last time you checked?
The last time it was a little over 1 million.
That's insane.
Yeah, and then on the Y100, I think it's over like 500,000 maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was funny.
That is hilarious. And so is that kind of what launched you into social media?
Yeah, so after I had a lot of traction with that video, I was like, well, now I got to try another video. And then that one received really good feedback as well. So then I was like, well, what else am I going to do? Then I started dabbling with cooking videos because it's just easy recipes.
Right.
I love cooking. I love making dinner. And then I started the Misconnections. And then I started restaurant like vlogs. And yeah, so that's really what took it off.
Okay. So going backwards though, do you have a history in social media? Like, is that like your training and education? Or is that something you're self-taught in?
100% self-taught.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so back in 2017 when I was like, what am I going to do? What do I want to do? I read a book by Gary Vee. And after I read that, I was like, all right, I'm going to do social media marketing. No experience. So I posted an ad on good old Craigslist, small business.
Craigslist strikes again.
Craigslist strikes again. And I was like, I'll take care of all your social media. I'm a manager. I can offer this. And then 2 days later, I received a phone call, and that's one of my biggest clients to date.
Really?
Mm-hmm. They found me off of Craigslist.
Oh, that's amazing.
Good old Craigslist, yeah. So they've been my client since 2017.
So what type of things do you do for your clients?
So I have different clients. This one particular client, they own multiple salons, and each salon within itself rents to a tenant.
Okay.
So I kind of micromanage all of their social media.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so that's one of my clients. I have a few restaurants. I do just a little bit of everything.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
So looking long term, is that kind of, you want to grow that part of your business, or are there other areas that you want to reach out into?
I mean, I want to do so much.
You want to do everything?
Yeah, I want to do everything. So I do want to keep growing my social media marketing because it's very convenient. I can work from home, raise my daughter, and I like it. I love it because it's always something different. Like new strategies, new apps coming out, just a lot to grow from there. And then I also want to grow like my personal brand, which is Antoinette, Dariona, just doing like being here, doing podcasts.
Awesome.
And being part of other podcasts and like featured.
No, just this podcast. There are no other podcasts out there.
Yeah, I meant just this podcast, so I'll be here every week.
Every week.
And then just keep growing. Like, I don't know, I just feel like it's endless possibilities. Like, I was an extra in a movie, and I never would have thought I would be an extra in a movie, which was very interesting. I got to meet Louis Fonsi, which is
who's he?
Chef's kiss. And Chris Kattan.
Okay, Chris Kattan.
Okay, Chris Kattan. Corky Romano, huge fan. I love that movie. And I got to tell him that. I was like, I love Corky Romano.
That is awesome. Where did that film?
It was downtown at La Vejita.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was crazy. So I got there, I think it was like maybe 8 in the morning. We had like a specific parking. And when I arrived, I was like, they had like the huge buses. Like they were like, okay, you need to go get your hair and your makeup done and then go make sure your outfit's approved and then we're going to take you over here. And I was like, this is so cool. And then they took all our cell phones, so I couldn't get any videos. I couldn't sneak anything. So we went upstairs, and they kind of like told us like what we're gonna be doing, where we're gonna be standing. Because there was about probably like 8 other people, and we were there all day. We didn't finish filming till 2. But it was just really cool seeing everything that goes into it, and the production is crazy. Like, this man had, like, a big camera like that, and another one was like that, and another guy was like that.
Is that not what you film your videos with when you're doing your TikToks and IG? That's not the equipment
That's not the equipment. I'm self-equipped, so I'm like that. I have one over my head. But it was really cool, and the lighting and the sound and just how, many takes. I was like, this is so cool.
So you were an extra there, but do you ever see yourself like being more than an extra, like being a star, being in movies?
I would love to be a movie star.
You're like, yes, I would love to be rich and
Yes,
famous.
please.
Make it happen.
Yeah, I would love to be in a movie. I have no acting experience, believe it or not. I know it's very hard to believe, but I learned it all from good old TikTok.
So if you were in a movie, horror, romance, or comedy?
Oh, I'm a lover girl, so romantic comedy all day. Like, that's my genre of choice.
Okay, so you said that, so now I'm going to have to test you.
Uh-oh.
What is your favorite rom-com of all time?
Oh my gosh, easy, Crazy Rich Asians.
Really?
That's my favorite movie. Anytime I hope none of the guys I've ever dated watch this, but anytime we have a movie night and we like stay at home, that's my go-to movie. They're like,
wow.
What do you want to watch? And I'm like,
now all the dudes that you've dated are all like, what? That's her move? Is Crazy Rich Asians? Sorry, bros. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all got played.
I make them all rent it.
Oh, what, do they go to the Blockbuster to rent this video for you? What is...
Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay.
And I know it's on there. And it's $4.99.
Is that the test? Like, you have to make sure they have Amazon Prime 1, 2, that they have $4.99 to rent this movie. Those are the 2 things. If they can't do that, sorry, guys, it's a red flag. You're out of the running. If
we're doing a movie night at home, and they're like, so what do you want to watch? I'm like, I don't know. Ooh, Crazy Rich Asians. I love that movie. I haven't seen that in a while. And they're like, okay, like, whatever you want. And I'm like, yeah.
So remember, if you're going to be that weird dude that goes up to you at HEB, be like, excuse me, have you seen my copy of Crazy Rich Asians? I had it around here. That's your in, fellas.
Then I'm
telling
gonna be
you.
like, oh my gosh, I'm in love.
Oh, do you want to have a movie night?
No. Yeah, so that's my go-to.
So I have to ask this because I have always wondered this. When you'd post these missed connections, do you ever get anyone to the comment that like, oh my God, that was me, or that's how I met my husband, or anything like that?
I actually did have someone on Facebook say that's how they met their husband. Was they were both at Target, and he saw her in line. She was like a few spaces behind him, and they exchanged like a really heavy connection. I guess
like a heavy connection.
Dude, they're all right. They were just like ignoring everyone else around them. And she said that she saw it on Craigslist and she responded to the ad, and now they're married and they own a restaurant here in town, and they have like 4 kids.
Okay, so that's crazy. But let me ask you this, because you are I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. You're a single woman in San Antonio.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I could put that you're single out there.
Oh, yeah, no, I've been single since 2019.
Great. I hope that helps our views, because that's going to go up. Okay, so as a single woman in San Antonio, if someone messages you and they're like, hey, girl, I just saw this on Craigslist, but I think someone saw you at SeaWorld, and they put a missed connection out there about you. Like, are you jumping on that and be like, oh, let me get on my Craigslist and respond to this man?
No, absolutely not. Personally, no.
No?
No. And then, I mean, there's a lot of different outlets too. Like, I'll read like some of my Instagram requests and I'm like, what was that? What did you think that was going to happen out of this message? Like, there's a lot where I'm just like.
So I'm not new to social media or having female friends, so I know the types of messages that you're talking about. Do you ever do what my friends do, and just like, I gotta post this, like I gotta put this gentleman loosely, on blast and, share that.
So one of my next TikToks is going to be me reading my most out-of-pocket message request.
No.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say their name because some of them are very wild.
Is that TikTok content, or is that content that's gonna have to be posted on OF because TikTok's gonna knock it down in a minute?
No pictures for this one. It's just gonna be there was a message and it was a couple and it was like, I think you're hot, and then it said /wife. So it was like, did your wife really write this?
And then a pineapple
upside down.
I don't know how to do the emoji upside down, but
so
that's really going to be a series?
Yeah.
I love that.
It's just going to be one day, and I'm just going to read at least 30 messages where they're just complete chaos.
Literally every guy that has sent you a DM is he's pooping his pants right now. Oh, no, please, not me.
His name will be blocked out.
I don't know.
For the privacy.
I don't know. I think, that's an additional fee if you want your name blocked out.
Yes.
If you don't want it to go directly to your wife, you got to send that cash out.
Your wife or your boss.
Oh, the boss. That's I am on company time sending you this, ma'am. So where do you find that you get the most out-of-pocket, wild, unsolicited DMs? Is it Instagram, TikTok?
OnlyFans? Just kidding. I don't have an OnlyFans. Instagram, for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
You're that was no hesitation. You were hands down.
Yeah. I'll post a story and it'll be cute, and then I'm just whoa.
It's here I am with the bunny. I'll make you my bunny.
Yeah. And I'm like, what?
What? That don't even make sense, bro. That's not even a thing.
Yeah, so definitely Instagram.
So let me just get this out of the way. Is there anything that you have learned from your other friends that guys say in the DMs that's oh, you're right, I absolutely love you and you're my next husband?
You know what? I've been on one date with one guy.
Now it's not going to stop. They're never going to stop now.
And it actually went really well. Now we're really good friends.
See, you go into the DMs, you're going to be friend zoned.
I did allow him to take me on a date, and it was a nice date, but it was just a friendship. I felt like there was nothing romantic.
Was there anything in the DM that was okay, this was witty, this is original, and that's why you gave him a chance?
Yeah,
or he was just...
It was something I love comedy, so he hit me with a really funny line, and I was okay, I like this.
Oh, okay. So the jokes did work.
The joke did work this time.
Okay, so be original, be funny. No Crazy Rich Asians. That's your 3 best chances.
Only Crazy Rich Asians.
That's the only. What other movies? Because people are gonna think you have one movie that you've ever seen.
Oh yeah, that's it. If it's not Crazy Rich Asians, gosh, I don't know. I watch every cheesy Netflix produced rom-com.
Okay.
I don't care how bad the acting is. I will watch it because I love the plot, right? I'm there for the plot, which is
you're there for. I've said that I'm there for the plot. It's I thought it was an interesting plot, so I was I'll watch this.
Yeah, so I was there because I'm a lover girl, so I love seeing people it doesn't work, and then at the end they end up together, and I'm I was rooting for you guys.
Someone's chasing down a plane at the airport. Don't go.
Crazy. I'm I love this. This is gonna happen to me. I was actually at the airport last week because I went to Orlando.
Was that your plane I was chasing?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was you. I knew I recognized you.
It happens. I'm not very fast though, so the plane got away, but next time.
The airport is another place where I feel everybody feels they'll meet their soulmate. HEB, the airport. Trader Joe's.
You know what? That's absolutely true.
Right?
And I am nowhere am I grumpier than at the airport. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Don't look at me. I don't want to be here. I want to be where I'm going. Yeah, but I do feel people are always there and they're oh my God.
I went dressed up. And
do you really?
And a guy did ask me for my number. I didn't give it to him. He wasn't good.
He didn't know anything about Crazy Rich Asians.
No, he did not. But yeah. And I've seen so many TikToks where people romanticize being at the airport. They're am I going to find my soulmate? And all of those are viral. So I feel it's...
I'm just am I going to find a seat? That's all I care about.
Right? Very overpacked.
When you go to the airport, are you one of those people that, hey, I'm here, I'm at, this terminal, and I'm at this gate number, I'm going to stay here? Or are you like, ooh, where's the bar?
I'm definitely a lounger.
Are you?
No, I mean, I'll find a seat, I'll leave like something there, so I'm like, I'll come back to it. Make sure the gate's there first,
It
before I
has to
start
be.
panicking.
Sometimes they don't exist.
Yeah, I get really nervous about that, which is another, I used to work at the airport, which is another.
Did you really?
It's a really funny story. So
That's why everyone thinks they're going to meet their dream girl there. You worked there.
I don't know any Spanish, right?
Okay.
No habla español.
It works for me because I also don't know Spanish.
Okay, so I had applied to work at this airline called Viva Aerobus.
Uh-huh.
And I got the job, and it's...
Wait, what was the name of that?
Viva Aerobus. So it's just a straight flight from here to Monterrey and back.
Right. That's why I was like, okay.
Yeah, and I didn't know any Spanish.
Yeah,
It was a fun job because I worked with one of my girlfriends. And like all we did was like check people in, check their bags, and then we'd get them on their returning flight and then wait till they all got cleared through customs. But they asked me anything. I'm like, uno momento.
You're like, sí.
And I'm like, un pasaporte? Because I would have to scan the passports, but anything beyond that, I'd be like,
you had like a set number of words that you knew. You're like,
And I always had a little flashcard with like keywords that I knew that were going to be brought up.
And you're from San Antonio.
I am from San Antonio.
And you don't know Spanish.
And where are you from?
San Antonio.
And you don't know Spanish?
Sí.
You only know the chancla?
La chancla. That's right there. That's it. You know what? I'm asking the questions here, man. I am not on trial. You are on trial.
Oh, no.
So, okay. Yes. What do you want to talk about?
What about your dating life,
So I have a 10-year-old. So I have what they call a non-existent dating life because I am an entrepreneur.
Okay.
And anyone who says that is kind of a D-bag. But I run a business, and I don't know if you know this, but now I'm a podcaster.
Oh, yes. I love it.
I am a TikTok star.
You are a TikTok star.
I have at least 100 followers on every platform. So I'm kind of a big deal. So I don't really have a lot of time. And I'm poor. That's the hardest part is that I'm poor. So that really makes it very hard to date in San Antonio. And I'm like a Smurf. I'm 3 apples tall. So in San Antonio, I don't have any money, and I'm short. So basically, I don't date. I don't date.
You gotta start responding to the ads on Craigslist.
I'm gonna start responding to misconnections and just hoping they don't notice that I'm not actually these 6'5" African American gentlemen that they said they saw at HEB. I'll be like, yeah, that was me. No, are you sure it wasn't me? Sure? It's like, oh, okay, sorry, my bad. Do you want to still hang out? We're already here.
We're already here.
Like, no, I think that might have been a spur you were talking about, but it was like it was DeJounte Murray, and it was like 5 years ago when he was still a Spur. I miss him.
So no Valentine?
Do you like the Spurs?
Yeah, I do. I actually used to work for the Spurs. I know.
Ma'am, you don't have to say you work for everything I ask.
I know. I'm sorry. I don't know how I've had a lot.
Were
of
you
jobs.
a Spur?
I actually was. They called me Tony Parker.
I knew it. I knew I recognized you from somewhere. What did you do for our
With
Spurs
the
organization? Those are dope boots, by the way. Steve Madden, for those of you wondering at home.
Madden girls. For the Spurs, I was part of Team Energy. So it was like the hype crowd.
Wait, that's not a drink?
The Team Energy?
That's not like a Red Bull? No, that's... Okay. So you were in that?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so I would go out and like throw shirts and like get people to like participate in like contests and stuff like that.
What was the highest you threw a shirt?
Oh, not that high.
Do you have like a cannon for an arm? You're throwing them all the way
I
up?
was just like, boom, hit some kid in the face. Nachos go flying. I'm like, but you got a shirt.
But nachos. That would be me crying over the nachos. I don't want a shirt. I want nachos.
I wanted my $9 nachos.
How long did you do that?
I did that for 2 years.
Oh, that's cool.
It was really cool because we got to like go to the tunnel. So we got to see all the Spurs players, and then we got to see all the opposing team. And like I'm already pretty small. I'm 4'11". So don't let these
What?
boots fool you. I am 4'11".
I thought you were the 6'5" guy from HEB.
Oh my gosh, I can be.
I can be
For those wondering, I can be. So, Jeremy Lin was actually one of the tallest players I saw pass by me.
Really?
He was so tall. I was like, oh, this sucks.
How tall is he? You're like very tall.
He's like, I actually have no idea. But he is very tall.
That is exciting.
Yeah, it was really fun. And I got to watch all the Spurs games. And the team was really good back then. Not just.
Are you saying they're not good now? Wow.
No, I would.
San Antonio, please at her.
I would never ever diss the Spurs. I love the San Antonio Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
But that's when they were had Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, and Manu Ginobili.
Can you name anyone on the
three.
Spurs now?
Sheesh.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been to a game, so
it's okay.
Let me check my DMs.
We'll send you to a game. We will send you to a game with Joseph's tickets.
Perfect.
So, what are your Valentine's Day plans?
Watch Crazy Rich Asians by myself and cry.
Okay, so when you sucker these guys into...
It's not suckering.
When you make these guys pay the $4.95 for Crazy Rich Asians, I remember you saying you like to cook. Do you cook dinner, or is this like...
Oh, no, I cook the dinner.
Is there a special dish that you cook?
There is, and I hope, again, none of the guys I ever
They're all comparing notes right now. They're in the comments section.
It's my, and this happened 2 weeks ago. It's my, go-to dish that whenever I'm okay, I want this guy to like me, I have to whip it out.
When in doubt.
And it's my New York strip recipe. I make a really good medium rare New York strip.
Okay.
And garlic mashed potatoes, and it's just so good.
Okay.
Yeah, so I make the dinner, and then we watch the movie.
We get it. We get it. Just remember, guys, if you're watching Crazy Rich Asians and you got the New York strip with the garlic mash, she likes you. She likes you.
I'm going to block every guy I've ever dated from my social media when I promote the podcast. I don't want them to know they're all the same.
They're all the same. Wow. I'm not saying y'all are interchangeable, but you're kind of interchangeable.
So, yeah.
Do you have, we know you have a meal and a movie. Do you have a type?
Yeah, usually emotionally unavailable. Commitment issues.
The more red flags, the better. I think that's everyone in San Antonio. We're all in that boat together.
We're all in that boat. But no, I don't. Just be funny.
Just be funny. So comedians?
Comedians, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Speaking of comedians, you were telling me that you're going to be on a podcast soon. Tell us about that.
So his name is Sam, and he does the Tinfoil Hat podcast, and he's a comedian. He does a stand-up comedy out of LA, and I'm going to be a guest on his podcast. That
is awesome. How did that come about?
Oh, just social media. Good old social media. So I had posted his podcast on my Instagram, and then we followed each other, and then some messages were exchanged, and I was like, yeah, I would love to be.
I like that. If anyone shares my podcast on their social media, I too will invite you to be a guest.
Oh, see, it works out. I was just like, oh my gosh, yes, I would love to.
So does he shoot it out in LA, or are you going to go to LA? Or?
No, I'm going to shoot it here, and so we're just going to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes.
Through the magic of the internet.
Through the magic of the internet.
Have you been to LA?
No, I don't think so. I've been to California, but I don't remember where.
Do you like to travel?
I love traveling.
I know you worked at the airport.
Yeah, I was just in Orlando. Believe it or not, I used to live in Boise, Idaho, and every time I say that, everyone's like, Idaho? I'm just kidding.
I've got nothing bad to say about Boise.
But Boise was beautiful. And then Marfa, which is really nice to visit here. It's so beautiful.
What was the shop they had in Marfa? Was it Prada. Is it still there?
Yeah, they have that Prada installment. And believe it or not, because it's such a high, traffic spot, they update the interior, they update the purses and the shoes that are inside the installment. Yeah. And then behind it is like a fence, and everyone like leaves locks. Like, like locker locks. Uh-huh. Yeah. It's a big thing.
Is it like relationship? Like,
I don't know. I didn't have a lock. So
isn't there like a lock fence here in San Antonio or something where
really?
people put, is that, maybe I'm making that up. Maybe I saw that in a movie.
Maybe you saw it in Crazy Rich Asians.
Was that in Crazy Rich Asians? It was in a rom-com where like there's a bridge somewhere and lovers put locks there to signify their
love for each other.
I really don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of high school lockers. I really don't know.
I had no idea about this locker, exchange until it was too late because I was there, and Marfa is in the middle of nowhere, so there's nowhere.
So there was no Walmart to get a lock.
Yeah, there was nowhere. The nearest Walmart's in Fort Stockton, so it's about an hour and a half away.
Oh yeah, that's too far to go for a lock.
And then go back. Yeah, so I was like.
And then how do you remember your password after all that time?
Oh yeah, no, you just go leave it locked.
But why?
Locked and loaded. I don't know.
So you were going to put a lock, but you didn't know why?
No, I wasn't going to put a lock. I just saw everyone putting locks, and I was like, next time I come around, I'll bring a lock.
Bring a lock in case. Yeah. Now I always walk with a lock. Just in case. You never know where one of those fences
is a big lock. You just never know when those fences come up.
That is, yes. So, you love comedy. You love stand-up comedy?
I do, actually. I really love stand-up comedy. One of my favorite comedians, like one of my favorites. I listen to his comedy podcast all the time. The same kind of thing went on Instagram. I posted it. We exchanged a few messages, and he invited me to a show.
Ma'am, you are doing very well on the Instagram.
Yeah, so.
Do you go to the comedy clubs here in San Antonio frequently?
I have not. I've been to, oh my gosh, this is another crazy story. So one of my dad loves Entourage.
Okay.
And one of the, I'm not going to say any names, but one of them does stand-up comedy. And
is it Jeremy Piven?
I'm not going to say any names, but one of them does stand-up comedy. So I told and my dad loves his character. Mm-hmm. So I was like, Dad, like, I'm going to take you to Austin. And it was at the Creek in the Cave. So, the tickets are like $30. So it was me and my parents and my brother. And we sat in the front row, which I always am skeptical about sitting front row for comedy shows because you never know if they're working. The audience, I don't want to get roasted. My feelings will get hurt. And so I was like, we were front and center, okay? And I actually was wearing this top, but I had the same high boots, but they were red. Okay. And so during the comedy act, which he was really funny, he kept like looking at me. But I was like, he's like a performer. Like, so I posted on Instagram that I was there as the selfie and I tagged him. And then lo and behold, messages exchanged. And I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah, that was the Creek in the Cave in Austin. And then every Monday, there's a really good comedy show at the Vulcan. And then Joe Rogan is actually about to open his comedy club there on 6th Street.
Oh, really? I didn't know he was going to have a comedy club.
Yeah, he's actually opening it, I think, within this month.
I love stand-up comedy. It's one of my favorites.
Oh.
That's how I know which actors from Entourage actually do stand-up. And if you go on TikTok, you can find one of them, who shall remain nameless, doing a bit about The Rock. And The Rock not going to acting school, but he did go to acting school. But I'm not going to name any names.
But we're not naming any names. But that was part of the comedy stand-up too. That little spiel you just said. So you know exactly who I'm talking about.
Oh, I definitely do. I love stand-up comedy. I often tell people that if I had more talent, I would do stand-up comedy, but I really don't. I really don't have any talent. That's why I do podcasting.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so we have about 2 minutes left.
Okay.
In 2 minutes, tell me why you love being on this podcast.
Why did I loved it because, well, first off, like, I'm here with you.
Clearly.
Okay. fantastic lighting, but it was just a great conversation.
I think you like the lighting.
I really do love the lighting. That selfie mirror over there. I got a couple of
That
shots.
is so cool, isn't it?
It's really cool. I was like, okay.
I saw that the last time we were here, and I'm like, I need one of these for my office because
It's fantastic. I need these lights for my room.
on that selfie mirror, you can actually change I guess you would say the temperature of the lighting. That is so cool. Like I've never seen that.
That is really cool. That is cool.
But sorry, you were talking about the lighting here. And
Oh, it was just a really nice conversation, and I just feel really special. So thank you.
I want to thank you for coming because this is the first time that we've actually met in person.
Right.
And you are so absolutely down to earth. I absolutely
thank you.
love how genuine you are. It has been very cool meeting you. Oftentimes you talk to people on social media and you never know what you're actually going to get when you meet them in person. But you are exactly who I thought you would be, and that is so cool.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Of course.
And thank you for spending this time with us. This has been Kicking It with the Texas Chancla with Antoinette, and see you next time.